Hello, 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 and welcome to The Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. And welcome to our Traitors episode. It's a little early for me. This is too much sunlight for me as a trader. I like to move in darkness, but whatever. I am your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. Drinking some water here. Hydration is important. And I got my cup mug. Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Beer, 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 beer. Traders Edition. Traders Edition. Yeah. And you can get your cup mug at Lana. You can get your cup. We do deliver. We ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Unless your postal service is moving a little slow, but that's okay because a delay is never a deny. So you can still get it. It just might take a little time. So get your cup merch, period. And who's my other fellow trader today?
Why are you saying my name, Lana?
I didn't say it today.
But you did.
I didn't say it today.
But you did.
That was yesterday.
Okay, well, it still matters. Anyway.
So what do we do from here?
I don't target each other. I'm going after Danielle.
I won't go down without a fight.
Okay. Hello. Hi. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I had to pop in because, baby, this season is shit. I'll be here to talk about it. I am currently drinking a San Pellegrino Limonada because they were left over in my fridge. And they're very, very delicious. But no, I had to pop in. I had to pop in on the Traitors podcast. A, so I could have an excuse to podcast with a blanket on. And B, because what the fuck is going on up in here on this day? Lana.
I've never seen a group of traders so dysfunctional in my entire trader's life.
I want to talk about it because I was genuinely like, I don't think there's ever been a traders panel this absolutely dysfunctional ever.
And we'll talk about it because we will definitely talk about it. But before we do, y'all know what to do. Please subscribe to this channel. Please, please, please. And thank you because we are trying to get 8,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And we are on our way. We just need you to join in with us and help us out. And we will greatly, greatly appreciate that. But we also have 3 other channels that you could subscribe to and join and help out on all of them. So follow us on all of our channels. Our drag channel, which covers drag or drag race, our ESC channel, which covers Eurovision Song Contest, and our Ringside channel, which covers WWE Wrestling. All those channels can use your support. So all those links will be in the description below. So please go and subscribe to all of those channels. You can also subscribe to our audio podcast links. That's down there in the description below. I don't know I don't know why that threw me off, but it threw me off.
I also did you say the link lanagcreations.etsy.com earlier, or did I just miss it? Or
I think I said it, but lanagcreations.etsy.com. It's that kind of day. Get your merch.
Yeah, it's really y'all. It's really that kind of day.
It's really wild today. So
we're struggling just like these traders.
Follow our audio podcast links. Follow our Patreon. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe for our Patreon. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really good. So check that out. And let's talk about it because I feel like we just need to get it out the way because man, these traders are dysfunctional. Like
Alan coming. Alan. I usually have a lot of very, very nice things to say about you, Alan Cumming. You're a very handsome man. I think you are a very good host. I think you are an Emmy-winning host. You done fucked up bringing Boston Rob into this Traitors turret. And I hope you understand how much you fucked up bringing Boston Rob into this Traitors turret. Now, we could have had a season with the girls and the gays doing their little traitorous stuff, and it would have been great, and it would have been perfectly fine, and there would have been no issues. But no, we have to have Boston Rob on the season, and no, of course we have to make him a traitor, and no, of course he's gonna fuck everything up because that's what Boston Rob does.
This whole situation is all because of Rob. And I everything about this is all because of Rob. And it bothers me to no end for him to stand there and be like,
oh,
I don't know why. I don't know why this is happening. I don't understand why we can't just do it.
The way throughout this entire episode, I was like, every time he's like, well, I don't know why there's so many issues. I don't know why there's so many issues. You did this, Rob.
You did this.
You are the issue.
You are the reason for all of this.
If you are a Boston Rob fan, I hope you are reveling. I hope you are living your best life. But quite frankly, moving forward, I don't think I'm going to watch anything Boston Rob is ever in again. I don't care if it is my favorite show. I don't care. I just cannot fucking stand the man. He's like Squid Ink, where it literally permeates everything it touches. I can't do it anymore. Like, it's just, I love the Traitors, and that's why I'm so frustrated, because I really love the Traitors. I enjoy this franchise so much. Season 2 was so fun. Season 1 was incredible. We got retribution for our dear sweet Sari, and I was thrilled. And then last season done fucked up, but thank God CT was there. And this season, I am really just ready to say, all right, cool. Let the final 3 be Boston Rob, Dylan Efron, and somebody else, and just give Rob the win at this point. Like, I'm so just it's
beyond. It's so beyond ridiculous. And I'm like, the whole time he's like, oh, I don't know why we can't get along. I don't know why we can't. You did this. You brought the mistrust into the turret.
You did this, Rob.
You did this when you went after Bob for no reason. And then when Danielle tried to say that, he's like, no, he wrote a death wish. You know this, Danielle. You know this. He didn't have to say my name, because he was like, he didn't say my name. She was like, he didn't say your name at the round table. No, he didn't say my name at the round table. He said it at the challenge. She said he didn't say it at the challenge. No, he didn't say it at the challenge. He said all 3 new guys. And he was like, okay, yeah, but all 3 new guys, one of them had to be it. And everybody thought it was Wes. Everybody was on the Wes train. Everybody thought if anybody is a traitor, it's Wes. And so if one of the new guys had to be it, everybody would have went after Wes first. And if they went after Wes and found he was a faithful, they were like, well, maybe it's one of the new guys and a traitor, because we thought if anybody was a traitor, it's going to be him. They weren't even looking at you, Rob, because they already thought you were faithful. And then you go after Bob, which creates this distrust among us in the Traitors. And then you want to sit here and act like, well, why I thought we came up to an agreement. Why aren't we getting along? Why aren't we doing? Because you still distrust. Because you then go around to tell Carolyn, I'm going to take you to the end. We're going to do this to the end. But you don't say that to Danielle. So Danielle feels like, well, maybe, just maybe, Rob and Carolyn just struck up a deal to take each other to the end, and they cut me out. Because why would he not say that to me and say that to you? It just doesn't seem right. So Danielle, in her paranoid mind, is like, I think they coming for me. Now, is it paranoia? Absolutely, it's paranoia. But what it ain't is distrust, because you brought the distrust into the tournament. You did that. And sure, all the Rob fans be like, well, he's just playing a game. And he is. He's playing a game. But don't act like you don't understand the game that you're playing, because you know exactly what game you're playing and you know exactly why people feel the way they feel. And so it's like, I am not mad at the game Rob is playing. I'm not mad at it, because he's playing a game and that's how you play these games. What I am upset with is the act of, I don't know why people can't just do what we said we were going to do. Huh? You brought the distrust. So why would we trust you now? And now they have people not trust each other, because did Danielle take the wrong route going after Carolyn? Absolutely. Absolutely. She should have never brought Carolyn into this. No. And it should have never been a thing between her and Carolyn. But she was so scared, thinking it was an easier target to get out Carolyn than it would be Rob. So she chose to go after Carolyn. Bad decision. Completely bad decision. I'm the first to say it. And I'm a Danielle stan. And I hate
this
it.
is a Danielle Reyes stan podcast. And we're going to be the first people out here saying, Danielle done fucked up this season of Traitors.
She just messed that part up. Like, going after Carolyn was unnecessary and it didn't need to happen. She didn't need to do that. But she did it. And now she's dealing with the consequences. But at least she understands where she messed up. Rob is sitting here acting like he don't know where the problem came from. And I'm like, come on.
I mean, I'm not surprised Rob came after Bob. We've known for a while that Boston Rob is homophobic. I'm not going to hear any other arguments about it, so.
I don't know nothing about that.
We've known that from his first season of Survivor.
I mean, look, like I said, I don't know nothing about that. All I know is it was unnecessary. I ain't gonna call nobody no. I ain't gonna say what nobody's character is. I just know he knows this game, and he know what he did in this game. And
I'm gonna say my perception of him based on several things I've seen on television. I don't know the man. I don't know the man personally. I never plan to know the man personally. Not my judge. Not my whatever. Not my person. But I understand why people like Boston Rob. I do. I understand. Objectively speaking, he is a very good social strategic game player. And this episode was a masterclass in Boston Rob being one of the best social strategic players ever on competitive reality TV, period. And I still find him grimy, gross, and disgusting. And he will never own up to the moves that he is making. If he owned up to the things that he did and owned up to understanding what he was doing, I would have so much more respect for him. But he doesn't.
I don't even know if he gonna do it at the end of the game when it's over, said and done. It's like, I knew exactly what I was doing when I did that. If he says that, I'll be like, okay.
I'll be up, absolutely, 100%.
I'll be like, okay. Well, he knew what he was doing, but no. But anyway, the tour is a mess. Everybody is like
disaster.
Nobody trusts nobody. Carolyn basically says the only people I want to murder right now is the two of you.
And I understand.
I get it. I get it completely. I get it completely. I'm like, yeah, because people's trusts have been broken. People don't know who to believe anymore. And so Carolyn at one point was like, yes, me and Danielle will go get rid of Rob. But I think Rob telling Carolyn that and Carolyn telling Danielle that just threw on a whole nother layer of paranoia that didn't need to be there. And so now Danielle is like, well, I think they are both out to get me. And it's like, it's so ridiculous. I just feel like there is no coming back from this, honestly, especially after what happens later on in the episode.
No, I'm like, okay, cool. Which faithful are Lana, which faithful do you think are gonna win this season?
Chad's gonna be somebody like Chriselle or Gabby or Dylan.
I'm fine with that.
It's probably gonna be somebody like that.
Personally, best case scenario for me, despite what happened this episode, best case scenario for me.
I'm just,
But even they're pissing me off.
they
But
pissing me off too. So it's kind of like I want somebody. I don't
yeah.
even know who I want to win at this point. Like anyway, but
Dolores. You know what?
right, Dolores, Dolores.
Actually, I want it to be Dolores and
Look, and none edit Sam. Let him have it. Why not?
no.
Why not?
No, because he did too much damage to Britney Spears. We're not letting him
I
have
don't
that.
care about Britney Spears like that.
I
Come on.
know you don't. Some people do. I don't like him.
He ain't do no
Dolores,
more damage than anybody else that she did to herself.
Dolores and Sierra. How about that? Sierra's already been through enough this season. Dolores and Sierra. That's who I'm currently.
Give it to Ivar.
Right, I was gonna say Ivar. He don't need it though.
He don't need it, but give it to him anyway. I don't care.
Oh,
At this point, it's wild.
But yeah, so they're going back and forth. They're going back and forth between murdering. Speaking of Ivar, who was it? Ivar, Bob H,
And Wes.
and Wes. They should have just murdered Wes. But they didn't. They decided. Well,
hold on.
Another.
Well, it's just. I mean, they decided to murder.
They got Bob.
Yeah, another Bob.
So no more Bobs.
No more Bobs.
The Bobs are gone.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm looking at the visual now. You know who I want to win? I want it to be Dolores and Brittany Haynes.
Sure.
Give it to Brittany. Why not? Give it to Brittany.
Honestly, I don't think it's gonna happen because they said so much, but give it to Derek.
Honestly,
be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it a little bit throughout the season. This is the single most I've liked Derek Lovassar on TV ever.
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't the hugest Derek fan on Big Brother, but I think Derek is playing a really great Traitors game, and he's playing a really great Faithfuls game. I think he has some of the social capital, but he still needs a little bit more social capital. But
here's what I'm worried about, though.
He's gonna die.
Well, okay. Yes. If he doesn't, and if they actually get rid of both Danielle and Carolyn, and Rob is in a position where he has to recruit, he's going to recruit Derek and throw him under the bus. So that way one of the three guys theory is actually true. Then he's not going to be. God, this season is just. Ugh. You know what does warm my heart every time it happens? Every time there is some reference to someone being grossed out by Tom Sandoval. Whether it's Chrishell or Dolores or Brittany. And in this case, in this episode, thank you, Mother Brittany Haynes, for sharing your ick towards Tom Sandoval. Why can't we murder Tom Sandoval? Why is he still here?
Because he's chaos.
Because he does not play this game well.
He's not doing well in this game at all, and they know it.
He's a goddamn disaster of a player.
And they know it, so it's kind of like,
he's gonna make it to the end of the game. I don't mean to be so pessimistic over this season. I really don't. But like, we've seen how this goes for Boston Rob before. See how it goes.
It's wild, but we do see Brittany, because Tom is like, I know who it is. It's Dolores.
For what fucking reason, Tom Sandoval?
Why is it Dolores, Tom?
Where?
how is it Dolores? And he's like,
other than Ivar, I think Dolores is the only other person basically at this point proven to be a faithful.
I mean, I don't know how she's proven to be a faithful, but I don't think she's shown any reason that she's a traitor. Like, there's nothing that's screaming traitor about her. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't said anything that would say, oh, she's possibly a traitor.
She hasn't said anything.
She hasn't said anything. Period.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I appreciated Brittany just being like, no, ew, gross. The entire episode.
Right. Just
like when they come back from the mission and Tom is just what were these side note, what were these slurping noises Tom Sandoval is making? Like eating food in the dining room, and Brittany just comes in and she just goes,
Ew. It's like, why? First of all, why are we standing over the food, eating food?
Right? Can
you get your plate and move on? Why are you over the food? Just
right.
Like, ugh. Ew.
Thank you, Brittany.
Okay.
Thank you, Brittany, for acknowledging Tom Sandoval's wrongs. Thank you.
Yeah. So we get it, but like everybody sees that Bob is gone at breakfast, and it's like, oh man, that's crazy. People are like pissed off, like, why Bob? Why would Bob be the one to go? Nobody understands it.
Doing much.
He wasn't doing it, but you know who's putting pieces together? Derek. Derek is like,
thank you, Derek.
He's like, Bob is gone. And who did Bob go for at the round table?
Rob.
Bob, drag queen, goes and he votes for Rob. Huh. And Rob says he is 100% sure that Bob was a traitor.
Well, Bob certainly is a drag queen.
He's a drag queen. 100% correct. He's correct about that. And he's correct that he was a traitor because he knows he's a traitor because he's a traitor himself.
Bob's influence on this game, I gotta say, every rent-free, you gotta work, Bob. I haven't been here. I wasn't here for a lot of the early part of the season. What did you end up thinking of Bob, as this was your first introduction to Bob?
I thought Bob was good, but Bob was a mess. I thought Bob was a mess on this show. I think
100% just an absolute disaster of a human. But we love Bob and everything else.
Yeah, Bob is great. Bob is great. I just think Bob was this did too much. And I could see why he was targeted first out of the traitors. I just didn't think it should have been that soon. You know what I mean? Like, eventually you target him at some point, but I think like a little bit down the line, like maybe this week
honestly,
been a good week to get rid of Bob the drag queen.
Yeah.
And
but I feel like by this point, Bob would have already gotten with Danielle. They probably would have already taken out Rob in an ideal world. So
I don't know, but we do, after we get breakfast and everything is, they get ready for the mission. We get a few conversations around of who could possibly, be the traitors, who's saying people's names. We get a conversation between Brittany and Carolyn where, because Danielle tells Carolyn in the tour that she's going to make this right. She's going to fix it. She's going to make it right. She's going to tell, let people know maybe her suspicions about Carolyn isn't true, or it was a little out of, she's just going to make it right. But Danielle didn't get a chance to do anything before Brittany and Carolyn talked. And Brittany was like, I know I heard you say my name. And Carolyn was like, when did I say your name? I've never said. She was like, I heard you said my name. And that's fine that you said my name. Everybody's name is going to be said. And Kelly was like, I would never say your name. Like, your name was like at the complete bottom of my list of people who I would ever say. Like, I would never say that. Like, you're my number one. I would never say that to you. And Brittany was like, well, somebody told me that. She was like, well, who told you that? And Brittany kind of like, oh, I don't want to say. And she was like, somebody close to you. Okay. I know exactly who it is. And she was like, it's Danielle. I knew it was Danielle. And so Brittany never said Danielle's name, but Carolyn assumed and was right that it was Danielle. And so then with Brittany telling her that, and then her talking to Dolores, was it Dolores? Yep, it was Dolores.
Mm-hmm.
And Dolores saying she heard her name from Danielle. She's kind of like, Brittany is on a warpath right now. She is not happy. She is not going to play nice anymore. She was like, I will be bringing this up tonight. And Danielle is going down. I'm just going to let all my feelings out. I'm not going to hold back anymore.
Yeah.
Not ready to make nice. I'm not ready to back down. No, I'm not doing anything.
She's still mad as hell.
She's still mad as hell. Shout out to the chicks.
Period.
Period. She was upset and she was mad. And I was like, okay, well. So then we go to the challenge.
Oh, Lord Jesus. This pissed me off.
So if you watched UK, we've seen this challenge before. And so loved how they did this challenge.
This was one of my favorite challenges on Traitors UK.
Yeah, loved how they did in UK. This one was a little bit more interesting because in UK you only had one shield in this challenge. And so only one person gets a shield. In this challenge, in US version, 3 people could get shields. And the 3 different teams could go off and all find shields. And so nobody was going to tell who had shields. But the smartest thing the Traitors did was everyone was in a different group.
No, they weren't.
Oh, wait.
Because remember, Danielle and Carolyn were in the same group.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Danielle and Carolyn were in one group. Rob was in another group. And then it was Derek that was kind of leading the other group.
I wish Danielle and Carolyn would have split up.
I wish Danielle and Carolyn would have split up as well.
You're right.
Yeah, no. I have to say, the adaptation of every challenge we've gotten so far this season from UK to US has been a downgrade. Quite honestly. Like, every challenge for me so far has been an absolute downgrade.
I feel
the Stonehenge challenge, I really hated the way they did it in
the which one?
US. The Stonehenge challenge.
Oh.
I hated the way they did it here because so many people got shields. I loved the way they did it in the UK challenge. Now I'm just like, oh Lord, okay. Are we gonna what are they gonna do for the chess challenge? Because that's coming. Because they didn't pay all that money to not use that giant chessboard twice.
Absolutely. Like, and the robotic
how are they gonna done fuck up the chess challenge, like all that stuff?
We'll see. Okay. And I'll say this because I said the same thing to David on the UK version, on our recap of UK, which you should check out right there. Ding. I feel like I always have to separate the two because the UK version is regular people, no celebrities, just, regular people who need this money, who are working, trying to do whatever. The celebrity version has to cater to the celebrity attitude and ego. So it's going to be different. It's going to be a little bit more easier, a little bit more pampered because of the celebrity status of the people on the show. So I get that. And so I separate the two in my mind. And I can't compare what I like and dislike about each thing because it's like, yes, it's going to be different adaptations, but the two reasonings why they do what they do is completely different. So I'm like, yes, 3 shields was super easier than 1 shield in this one.
And that's not even what made me mad. I don't mind having 3 shields. I actually think with the number of people we have left, 3 shields, I think it's fine. I'm not too upset about it.
About everything, all the things, all the different parallels.
No, what frustrated me the most, you cannot tell me, I'm sorry. There is no universe I'm believing they actually succeeded this challenge.
No, I don't think they did.
They did not win this challenge.
I don't think they won.
They did not win this challenge.
Not with what we saw.
Why is Alan Cummings' ass throughout this entire challenge going, oh, they don't even have enough gunpowder to knock over a statue of Lala, let alone my giant traitor. And then all of a sudden, in the last 20 seconds of the challenge, you got half a barrel of gunpowder? No. It's honest to God, it's disrespectful to the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let them fail a mission. I understand not wanting $30,000 to go to waste, but you can also pad those last couple of challenges with a little bit of extra money, so that way all of the money that you allocated for the prize fund can actually go to them. Let them fail a task. Let them fail a mission. I want to see what happens if they fail a mission. But no, because these are celebrities and other people we've never heard of, and Zac Efron's brother, and a random gay royal, and fucking Tom Sandoval's ass. Because they're celebrities, we can't have them fail a mission. It's like, it feels disingenuous.
Agreed.
Like, the missions feel completely disingenuous on this season.
I
and
agree
honestly,
with you.
Most of them have at this point.
I agree with you on that one. I think there's no way they won this mission. And I said that, I was like, there's no way. There's no way they won that. Do I think they failed all the missions? No, I think they succeeded on some of them, but I definitely think.
I think this is the only one for me that
I felt like they failed. Yeah, this is the one I was like, they didn't win this one.
And actually, I will say the first one on the boat. Those are the two that I'm like.
I kind of think they got back in time because they skipped that last
probably
money, but I think for sure they did not win this one. I was like, there's no way. Especially with what we saw in that bucket, there's no way they filled 3 lines worth of gunpowder.
Why is Boston Rob's ass randomly just like tossing a bucket of gunpowder in the air, running over, like for what? No.
Yeah.
No.
You won't tell me
sorry. No. Y'all aren't gonna no.
No.
The wool is not over my eyes. Boston Rob's mist is not happening on my watch. No.
Yeah, no.
It frustrates me because it just feels disingenuous. It's like, okay, why have the missions anyway? Y'all could just not have the missions.
No, just give them the money at the end.
Just give them the money. Who cares? I honestly might prefer that better than making them do these missions and forcing them to win, when in reality, these people are shit at these missions. This group specifically is shit. Like, I said I wasn't going to come on here and complain about this whole episode, but, well.
You lied. You lied to yourself.
But there's just so many, like, I'm just such a big fan of this show, and I love this format, and I would love to go on this show. Ain't going to happen for me here because it's all fucking celebrities now. So, like, whatever. But it's like, I love this format. I love this show. I think it's such a cool concept for a show. And it just feels like it's getting tainted every time we see it in the US specifically. Whereas UK, I feel like every season has gotten better. Like, Traitors UK season 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think this is becoming my show that I just can't podcast about because I get too angry about it.
Oh no.
I'm too passionate. I love this show. It's just so frustrating.
It is frustrating because it really is such a good show. It really is. So the format as well, it's fun to watch. It's a fun watchable show, and I'm sure it's a crazy playable show, but I would love to do it. But it's just it's wild. It's crazy. If I could host my own Traitors show and do it for just regular people, I would, because I would love it. I would love it. If I win the lottery of billions of dollars, I would do one season of it for myself.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. It's it's just something that we have to deal with. It's just crazy. It's insane. But Um, they get back from the mission. They, for some reason, they could succeed in the mission. Nobody tells anybody who has the shields, but we know Carolyn has the shield. We know
Rochelle has a shield.
Rochelle has a shield, and um, who else had the shield? It was
I genuinely don't remember.
Was it Ivar?
We'll find out at the start of next episode.
Yeah, because I don't know who else has the shield.
Yeah, I don't remember. All I remember is Carolyn snatching that
She
shield.
snatched
And
it from
yes,
Tom.
Mama, you got her. Yeah.
He was like, I thought we were going to talk about it. She was like, for what? I got it.
No, fuck you, Tom Sandoval.
This is a game. I snatched it. I got it. You snooze, you lose. Purr. I was like, okay, work.
Period.
Oh no, it was Dylan. Dylan had it. Dylan had it. He won rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. That's right. Rock, paper, scissors champion. He won.
Rock, paper, scissors world international champion, Dylan F. I'm sorry. I can't stand the man. I wanted to like him, and objectively speaking, he's nice to look at. But add him to the list of Boston Rob's cronies over the last 15 years, and he's just a carbon copy.
I cannot be mad at this man for falling under the Rob trap. He watched Rob on television just like everybody else, and he enjoyed and appreciated the man's gameplay, and he feels like he helped him catch a traitor. So I can't be mad at Dylan for falling under the Rob spell. That's what fans do. Fans of people will fall under people's traps. Like I am one. If I was in this game and Danielle Reyes was in this game with me, I would fall under her trap. I would be a minion of hers because I just adore her that much. And she's a traitor. And I will fall under that spell because I just love. I can't be mad at Dylan for being a fan. And so I'm not mad at him. Honestly, I think he's playing a really good game. He's going to make it to the end of this game because people know are going to think he's a faithful. And I think he could possibly be recruited into a Traitors at some point. But I'm not mad at that man. I'm not mad at him. I think he's actually playing a really good game. I'm not mad at him. I think he's doing okay. And I can't be mad at him for falling on the Rob's trap. That's hard to do when you watch somebody on TV for 20 years and you enjoy their gameplay. So I ain't that mad at that man. But yeah, Dylan does have the other one. So it's Dylan, is Carolyn, and it's Dylan and Carolyn and Rochelle. They all have the shields, but nobody's gonna tell anybody who has the shields, so everybody can feel protected. I'm like, somebody's gonna be banished and somebody's gonna be murdered, so everybody can't feel protected because of these 3 shields. And the people who are traitors know who has it from their group. So
and then I feel like I feel like I know who's getting murdered, period, but that's beyond the point. We'll talk about it. It feels obvious at this point. Based on all the things that we have yet to talk about.
So we go back to the house. We get some conversations. People are trying to figure out who they think could be the traitor. Somebody's name got mentioned in the car, but I can't remember. Oh, Wes. Rob was mentioning Wes. Wes's name got mentioned, and Wes's name gets mentioned throughout once they get back to the house. Rochelle brings up Wes to Rob. Ivar. No, not Ivar. Rochelle brings up Wes to Rob. Rob is talking to Dylan about Wes. Derek talks to Wes, and he tells him, I think it's Rob. I want to pull the trigger on Rob tonight. I'm 100% sure it's Rob. Wes is kind of like, ooh, if we go do this, we got to make sure we got the numbers. We don't want to just jump into it, do it, and it doesn't work. We got to hit it, the target it. We can't miss. And what Derek is like, I think we got it. I think it's Rob, and I think we got the people to do it. I'm just going to keep going about it. And so Derek talks to Ivar. Ivar's like, what do you mean? What did I say? What did I say yesterday? What do you mean? And he was like, Derek was like,
he can go. Bye.
He was just like,
bye.
Bye.
We got rid of Bob the drag queen and Wells and Dorinda and Jeremy for this. Bye. Sorry, Lana, go ahead. I am not
So
going to be invited back to the Traitors podcast. Lana's not going to have me back.
we might have to banish a traitor. I don't know.
You know what? Honestly, fair. I'll take it.
We might have
I
to
will
murder a
gladly
traitor.
I will gladly take it.
But no, it was so I was a little confused about what he's talking about. Then he realized what he's talking about. He was like, oh, Rob. He was like, yeah. He's like, so I just need you to support me and back me up on it. I was like, yeah, sure. So he talks to so Wes talks to Brittany, and it was Brittany, Dylan, and I don't know if anybody else is in there, but they were sitting around talking, and Wes is talking about something go happen. Rob's name might be brought up, and so he was like, and Derek is going to say it. We just need to support him, blah, blah, blah. And so Brittany goes to Derek and is like, hey, are you leading the charge on Rob? And Derek says, no, I'm not really leading the charge. Not really doing that. He's like, I mean, I've heard his name, but I'm not leading the charge. I just heard his name. And so Brittany's like, okay, but I don't think it's him. And Derek was like, well, okay, well, I'm just saying, I just need your support. I just need you to back me up with whatever I bring up. I just need you to back me up. Brittany's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so then she goes directly to Dylan and was like, we're not doing that. We're not doing Rob. And I'm like, where did this love for Rob from Brittany come from? I don't remember. I didn't see it happening, but apparently it's been happening. We just ain't seen it.
I don't get it either. Well, I mean, Brittany's been so criminally under-edited in this season so far that, like, clearly she's been having at least some conversations with Rob.
Right. And we just haven't seen any of it because it's like, we don't know what Brittany is doing. We haven't seen what she is.
This is the first episode that has prominently featured Brittany Haynes.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, there she is. Good to see you, girl.
And spoiler, my theory is because we don't have that many left with her because she's probably going to get banished next episode. That's my current theory.
Oh, you think she's going to get banished, not murdered?
I think, skipping ahead, I think Derek's getting murdered and I think Brittany's getting banished next episode.
I would agree with you, but I don't think Derek could be murdered because if Derek gets murdered, everybody's going to look at Rob.
I don't. That's the problem. That's genuinely the problem here. Is I just feel like if Derek gets murdered, that Rob's still gonna find some kind of way to pin it. He's gonna pin it on Brittany at that point. I don't know. I
don't know. I mean, I can see your theory.
I hope not, because obviously at this point, who do I think stands the best shot at winning realistically at this point? Brittany Haynes. Like, truthfully, if it's not Rob and his associated people and it's not Derek, at this point, it's Brittany. It's Brittany or Gabby. Like, given the edit we're getting, the only other people I think that stand a shot at winning at this point are Brittany and Gabby.
If Faithful's winning.
Unless it's Rob and or like Dylan and whoever Rob brings to the finals. Like, if it's not a Rob scenario, then I think Brittany's eventually going to realize, especially if Derek gets murdered, I think Brittany's going to realize that it's Rob. Rob's going to go. In an ideal world, please, for the love of God. And then I think she's going to realize that Danielle is also a traitor. Get out Danielle. Maybe get recruited by Carolyn because she trusts Carolyn, and maybe there's a universe that Brittany and Carolyn take it to the end together. Like, that's my best case scenario at this point. But I don't know. I'm just looking at the edit at this point. Like, Sam, no shot. Tom Sandoval, no shot. Ivar, no shot. Sierra, no shot. Dolores, no shot. Chriselle, in my mind, no shot. So that leaves Danielle, Brittany, Carolyn, Gabby, Rob, and Dylan. And Derek if he survives this next murder.
Yeah.
And that's purely just looking at the edit of the season. But anyway.
I don't know. I think Derek has put enough seeds in people. If he goes in the murder, he definitely is the tide will shift, because it's like, okay, so Derek is gone. He was a faithful. Wes is gone. He was a faithful.
He was a faithful.
And who was going after Rob? Derek. And Derek came up with all these great facts about Bob and about Wes, and he had all these facts that he brought up. If Derek goes, everybody has to look at Rob at this point. But I feel like maybe Rob and his cronies will be like, we trust Rob though. So it could go either way. But
I was gonna say, was there anything else we didn't talk about before?
Oh no, we get to the round table. We're going to the round table at this point, because this round table was ridiculous.
And I'm gonna say right off the bat, I've spent 46 minutes talking shit about Boston Rob. I'm going to give him his flowers here, because this was an absolute masterclass in deflection.
But you know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to give Rob his flowers, and I'm going to give Wes his flowers.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give Rob, Wes, and Derek their flowers, which is crazy coming out of my mouth.
Lana, who would have ever thought?
Me, you will give Boston Rob, Wes, and Derek flowers at the same time. Never in my life. But here we go. So we get to the round table, and we start the round table. First, let's get with the foolishness out the way, because Dolores says, I want to start off this round table. And she says, I've heard my name. Tom, do you have something to say? And so Tom goes on this thing about, well, I just think it was you because of this. And Derek is like, you know what? Can we stop this? I was like,
I promise you, I screamed.
Derek's like, can we stop this nonsense? Like, this is
foolish. So just like, can we get through this so like the adults can have the conversation? Right. Like,
children's conversation is ridiculous. We need to let the grown folks speak.
If there is no other point proving why people like Tom Sandoval should not be cast on the Traitors, I hope and I pray, Peacock, please listen to us this one time.
Yes.
Please cast a better balance of strategically minded people and entertaining people. Mm-hmm. Tom Sandoval is neither
of them.
Tom Sandoval is neither of the sort. I do not understand why you would put him on the show. I don't get it. You could have put literally anyone else from the Vanderpump Rules universe.
Mm-hmm. If you just needed that franchise. And they would have done better. If you just needed that franchise, it could have been anybody else.
If you desperately wanted Vanderpump Rules representation, anyone else. Where's Ariana Madix?
She was busy.
On Broadway.
And Love Island.
Yes. But it's just like, for the love of God, can we know where? I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. Where's the Amazing Race representation?
Look, you could have got the mistress from Tom Sandoval, and it would have been probably more entertaining. I don't even know her.
Like, I'll take anybody of them.
Anybody else?
I would take Lisa Vanderpump. Oh, wait a minute.
I don't even watch that show, but yeah.
Lisa Vanderpump. Well, because she fits the double because she's Vanderpump and she's a housewife.
Yep.
Lisa Vanderpump for Traitors season 4. I'm saying it here. I'm saying it right now.
Whatever. Sure. I guess. but don't put nobody like Tom on there because, baby,
Jeez.
he has zero social capital. Nobody listens to him. Everything he says goes in one ear and out the other. Nobody cares about anything he has said because his reads are so whack and so wrong, and his theories are so ridiculous. He comes up with 75 theories in a morning, and nobody wants to hear that all the time. And they're so
And
whack.
none of them are based in anything realistic or factual.
Like nothing. So it's like, ugh. So he's like stumbling around trying to figure out how he tells Dolores she could possibly be a traitor and whatever. And
Dolores clocked the hell out of him, and I lived for every moment of it.
She literally did.
I was not previously aware of the power of Dolores, and I am happy that I am now aware of her. So
she clocked him, and I was like, "Oop, her." And so Derek was like, "Okay, now that we're done with that, can we move on to the real situation here?" And so Derek, expertise, just so precise, concise, and in such a well put together manner, laid out the facts. Just laid out each of the facts on why he feels like Rob is a traitor. And it was like, if I didn't know this, if I didn't know Rob was a traitor and I was sitting around this table listening to this, I'd be like, huh.
And at least a couple of people were in fact convinced.
Makes sense. Because what he said made so much sense. It was just like, okay, all right. So for Derek to do that, lay out his cards, convincing people to be like, okay, then Boston Rob turns around and counter everything Derek says in such a manner where he looks like he is like, I don't know where you're coming with this from, but this is what I did. This is what I said. This is how this happened. This is what it was. I was like, oh, this is good.
I don't like the man, but it was wildly impressive.
This was good.
If I ever go on any kind of show, period, I'm studying this roundtable. I'm studying the way that Rob was able to so easily take the information that he had and spin it in this, spinning wool. It was so impressive. Yeah. And again, I don't like him. I really don't want to be giving him his flowers right now.
But they deserve
it. But the man absolutely ate down. Props to you, Rob. In this moment, and only this moment, props to you, Rob.
He ate it down. He broke it down into such a way that folks was like, and spun it all back to Wes. And so then I was like, okay, Wes, what you gonna do? And then Wes gives us another masterclass of how you take it. And Wes was like, at first I was like, Wes, I'm a little nervous because Wes was getting a little passionate, little hoorah about it. And then
it's literally the Bob the Drag Queen situation all over again.
Right, because it was shocking and he got a little hoorah about it, but then he brought it back. He reined it in and was like, am I aggressive? Because Chriselle called him aggressive and somebody else called him out. Was it Gabby? Yeah, it was Gabby.
Well, he said it wasn't a threat. It wasn't a threat, but it definitely was threatening the way that he was like, I'm going to come after people. Like his verbiage was not ideal.
His verbiage was not ideal for people like Chriselle, Gabby, Sierra, who don't play these games.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they don't understand. What do you mean you're coming after me? When somebody in the game
they're
is
taking it as a personal attack.
Right, a personal attack instead of a game.
Attack. Yeah.
And if somebody who, like, you see who didn't get upset about that, Brittany,
Danielle, Carolyn.
robbed it. Like they
Derek.
didn't get upset about that because it's like, oh yeah, he killed him
Even
first in the game.
Dolores, like Dolores didn't really get it, but that's also like Housewife. Housewife is like adjacent enough where like it's similar enough. But yeah, no, and the way I love too the way that Rob deflected this onto Wes in a way to make it not seem like he was just deflecting back onto Derek, which is what he accused Bob of. Like the whole the framing of it. And I do think Wes spun a very, very strong story here.
But here's what Wes did great. This is where Wes, and this is why I'm going to give him his flowers, because Wes was like, okay, I take everything y'all saying. I'm angry, I'm aggressive, I'm threatening. He said, no, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about this game. I'm passionate about what I'm here for and what I'm doing. And if you're not passionate, then why are you here? Like, he said, I'm passionate about playing games. I know what I'm good at. I am one of the better competitors in this game. I've been that. I'm going to be that. And I'm always that. And it was like, and if you can't see that, then that's on you. But I will tell you this. If you're not passionate, why are you here?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, Wes, like, I'm a passionate person. That's how I am about these games that I play. And I'm good at them. I won a lot of money from them. And if you go get rid of me because of that, then that's your problem. If you go be emotional about it, that's on you. But just know, I'm who I say I am. And it was just like, ooh, well, okay. But then props to Carolyn. I'm about to give some flowers to Carolyn as well.
Please do.
Because this mama said, hold up. We're using Wes as a scapegoat. That's to knock Rob off his pedestal and say, she was like, let me take this, what Rob is trying to do, knock it off. Nope.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do it. Wes it's clear he's being used as a scapegoat right now. So that was a knock against Rob and his thing. And so then she goes and says, what we really need to look at is people who are out here being chaotic for no reason at all, driving chaos. Now that's where my props for Carolyn is, because she took it off of Wes, put it on Danielle, and then made it, but then she took it emotional. So I was like, okay, that I didn't like what she did to Danielle, but I understand why she did it. But she did it in such a way where she knew people weren't going to really listen and take that seriously because she's so emotional. And it looked like she was being very emotional, like Danielle said my name, and I trusted you. I trusted you. And
I trusted you.
I trusted you. And it was like, yeah, I'm pointing the blame at you. I will vote for you, but just know I don't think you go get the votes to go, because everybody's going to think that I'm emotional. And this was an emotional thing because you said my name and you feel bad for it now, And so I liked how she did that, because she knew Danielle wasn't going to get the votes to go.
No.
She knew that. But she also
planting seeds.
Planting the seeds. And I was like, ooh, Miss Carolyn. And she took some of the suspicion off of Wes a little bit.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Carolyn here as well. I think seeing her growth as a strategic game player from Survivor to now has been really nice to see as well. And she's learned how, for lack of a better term, she's learned how to weaponize her emotionality in a really good way. I understand. I love Danielle Reyes. Y'all know that. I do. And I love Carolyn. I love them both. I am upset that they are going after each other right now. I understand why it's all happening. But I do understand why Carolyn is making the moves that she is right now, because she wanted to work with Danielle. She wanted to be the two of them against Rob after Bob went home.
Yep.
And Danielle, ultimately, as much as I love her, ended up playing a little bit sloppy, didn't know who to trust, and decided to simultaneously go after both of her fellow traitors at the same time. Not a strong move, but regardless, that's the game we're playing. So I understand her, and I appreciate her weaponizing this emotionality that she has to plant seeds about Danielle, to try to get Danielle out, because at this point, as much as she may have wanted to work with Danielle in the past, The reality of the situation now is she's not going to be able to in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So why not plant these seeds? Why not throw a vote on her? Because she knows that if she gets found out, they're going to know that it's Danielle too. So at the very least, if she gets banished, there is a likelihood that they're going to end up eventually pinning something on Danielle as well, because of the same kind of theory as to Rob voting for Bob, Bob voting for Rob, that kind of situation.
Right.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so it goes on, and so Carolyn does it, and it's emotional. Everybody's yelling. Danielle was going back at her like, "That's not true. I didn't say blah blah blah," and it's so intense and emotional. And then that's where the round ends. Alan stops to talk, and now it's time to vote. And at this point, I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. I have no clue where this vote is going to go. It starts with Dylan, I think, and he votes for Wes. And then the next person votes for, no, I think it was Dolores.
I don't even remember the order.
I don't know the order.
It ended up basically almost being a tie between Wes and Rob, and I was like, all right.
With a vote, one vote to Dolores, one vote to Tom.
No,
one vote to Danielle, one vote to Tom.
Yeah, Dolores voted for Tom.
Yeah.
Work queen. Carolyn voted for Danielle. Everyone else had voted for either
Wes or
Rob. And as much as she was strong and wrong here, I do love Wes going, I'm going after all 5 of you. And Brittany being the next person up to vote. And she goes, make it 6, Wes. Strong and wrong, but iconic nonetheless. And I appreciate that.
And she votes for, and he's like, okay. And so it came down to a vote. If Ciara voted for Rob, it'd have been a tie. If she voted for Wes, Wes would be banished. And she voted for Wes, and Wes was banished. Unfortunately.
Never in my life did I think I would be disappointed seeing Wes Bergman eliminated from a show.
Me too. And I was.
Really, honestly, and genuinely, I was really disappointed.
I was disappointed. I was like, ugh, not that. So Wes goes to the Circle of Truth and gives a really iconic goodbye.
Iconic. This is the most I have ever liked Wes.
He needed that after his run on House of Villains, his ending on House of Villains, I'll say. He needed it after the ending of House of Villains.
He needed it, yeah. I was impressed with it.
Yeah, he came out and he was like, I am the winningest competition show person on here. I've won the most money out of anybody here. I was like, okay, facts, sure. He was like, I have done more, I'm smarter, and I'm better than all of you. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And he was like, and from the beginning, and he's like, and I wanted to be a traitor. I came in asking to be a traitor. He said, and to everybody who was murdered, I still don't know who it is because I'm a faithful. F y'all.
Fuck you all.
And he walked up, and I was like,
Period,
Wes. And all of us sitting there like, you got it wrong, Blanche. You all got it wrong.
You fucked up, Blanche. You fucked up.
And it's crazy because now we know Carolyn, who voted for Danielle, has to go to the tournament with Danielle. Danielle, who voted for Rob, has to go to the tournament with Rob. And
that's chaos.
That's chaos in itself.
So before we go back to the tournament,
we weren't going there yet because I was just saying they just sitting there knowing.
I know
this is what we have to do, but we have to go out and talk amongst each other.
What the fuck is Brittany Haynes doing?
Flopping.
She goes, yeah, she is a little bit, just a
A little
little
bit.
bit. It's a minor flop. She goes right up to Derek and goes, "You are scumbag, pathological liar."
First, she goes up to him in front of everybody. He's like, "I need to yell at you," and I'm like, "Girl, don't do that.
Girl.
Don't do that." But then she's like, "I gotta yell at you." So she goes and she calls him what you just said, the pathological scumbag, pathological liar. And she was like, "You told me you weren't leading the charge on Rob." He said, "Yeah, I told you that because you and Rob have been very chummy lately. And you think I didn't see you tell Dylan right before the vote, don't vote for Rob?" She said, "Because I don't think he's a traitor." He was like, "Well, you're wrong." And he said, "I think you know he's a traitor because you're a traitor." And she was like, "You think I'm a traitor?" He was like, "Now I do." I was like, "You're wrong, but I can understand why you would think that."
You're both strong and wrong. Focus on Rob.
It's Rob. It's Rob.
It's Rob.
And so she was like, I can't believe it. He was like, "Well, it is what it is. I saw what you did. And so now I don't trust it." And so they walk away and Derek goes and grabs Dylan and is like, "Look, because I think I'll probably go be murdered tonight. And if I am, y'all need to look at Rob. And you need to look at Brittany. Because I saw what she did to you. I saw her tell you not to vote for Rob." And Dylan was like, "Yeah, Brittany has been very, she's been under the radar, very under the radar." Mm-hmm. He was like, "Absolutely. So I just need you to look at that, Justin." He was like, "Because loyalty is important to me." And Dylan is kind of going back and forth because I really think Dylan really likes Derek too. And Dylan likes Rob as well. And so he's kind of like, he's fanboying over all of both of them. Like, I really appreciate this game. I really appreciate this game. And they know what they're doing. And he know what he's doing. And who's right? Who's wrong? It's just going to be which side Dylan decides to land on at this point. But Derek has said, he was like, "If I'm dead, y'all got to look at Rob. It's Rob." And so everybody goes away and we gets to this crazy turret. No. And everybody take off their robe. Everybody just look at each other like, everybody just looking. They like, who gonna say something? Because I know we all got something to say. And so, baby, once the conversation starts, the dam is broken, the water is running, and everybody is mad. Mad. It's a tidal wave of anger happening right now. And they are so mad because Carolyn is pissed. She was like, "Danielle, you still saying my name." Danielle was like, "I didn't say your name today. I told you I was going to fix it. I didn't." She's like, "Several people came up to me and told me you're saying my name." And she's like, "I didn't do it today. I said it yesterday. I didn't do it today." And she was like, "Yes, you did. Several people have told me." I'm like, "Carolyn, no, they're telling you things from yesterday." But anyway.
This is where I wish, and this is the number one issue I have with this episode, and again, specifically with Brittany, I wish timelines had been clarified by both Brittany and Carolyn in this situation. Because I feel like if the timeline had been clarified, I think Carolyn would have understood, oh no, Danielle actually hasn't said anything about me today. Unfortunately, for Danielle, those timelines were not clarified by anyone other than Danielle herself.
Right.
And obviously she's not going to believe Danielle at this point.
Of course not.
Yeah.
And so Danielle she was like, "You were telling Brittany that I wanted to kill her." And Danielle was like, "You did." And so even Rob was like, "When did she say that?" She's like, "You did say that." I was like, "You didn't say," she said, "not in the way that you wanted her banished, but you did want to murder her."
In the turret. I'm like, turret? Girl, you can't do that to her.
I mean, but she did.
You can,
You
but
can. Because the same thing Rob did with Bob, took something he said to Turrent and used it against him at the table.
yeah.
And knowing Bob couldn't say, we said that in the Turrent. He couldn't say nothing. And so she was like, I didn't say you wanted her banished. I said you wanted to murder her. You tried to get her out. And he was like, what I said to Turrent, okay, I couldn't clarify that. She's like, of course you couldn't. I knew you couldn't. That's why I said it. And I think in that moment, Rob was a little impressed. Was like, oh.
Oh, Rob was gagged at Miss Carolyn.
He was gagged at both of them. He was gagged at both of them.
Every moment of it. I lived for every moment of it.
He was gagged at Carolyn. He was gagged at Danielle. He was like gooped. He was like, oh. Especially Carolyn was like, so they were like, so what do we do now? And Carolyn said, we coming out. We should go after Danielle. Rob was like, oh. And Danielle was like, I won't go down without a fight. Don't think I'm just going to sit there and let you do it.
Gagged them a bit, for sure.
Clutched all the pearls.
Oh, now that I referenced that person, you know who I kind of would live to see on the Traitors? Lux Noir London. Oh. Gagged them a bit, for sure. And she would be serving looks, too.
Yeah, absolutely. But
wait a minute. Anyway. Yeah, at this point,
we don't know what the Traitors are gonna do.
I think Derek's getting murdered. Is the only unless they decide to go after someone like Sam or Tom, which I wouldn't be mad at personally. I don't think if Rob has his way, which tends to be the way of the turret, I don't think we will be seeing much of Derek Levasseur in the next episode.
I mean, if he does that, I think that will just make the suspicion on him grow. And I don't know if he wants to do that, especially after Wes is gone.
And well, if he didn't, but here's the thing though, if he didn't want to do that, why murder Bob Harper? Because that's
I get that too.
That's because the entire
I think he knew he could talk his way out of Bob's. I don't think he could talk his way out of Derek, especially how hard Derek went for him at the round table. I don't think it's that, because like Bob started his round table with, let me play devil's advocate. And so it's kind of like, I have a theory, but I'm not sure. So let me play devil's advocate just to see what this might happen. Derek came with cold, hard facts and was like, I'm not leaving anything to chance. I'm coming for you. So if Derek goes, and Wes is a faithful, and Derek is a faithful, the theory that Bob created that one of the new guys have to be a traitor, it would make sense for it to point that to Rob. And I think people will start listening, especially I think Dylan will realize, the person I was praising is the person who was a traitor. I think Dylan will figure it out. I think the fact that people will start thinking like, okay, now Derek, who was going after what Rob is gone. Bob, who was going after Rob, was gone. Wes, who was going after Rob, is gone. Bob, the drag queen, who was going after Rob, is gone.
I certainly hope so. I have no faith in Dylan Efron. I have no faith in Dylan Efron.
I do.
The only person at this point I have a little bit of faith in maybe finding the right way through is Gabby. Because Gabby hasn't been that far off.
Maybe.
And she did vote for Rob.
Yes.
This round table.
Because of the facts. So the facts that Derek gave.
I am also worried that Gabby will get murdered.
Maybe.
I think that is the other. I think for me, I think it's Derek, Ivor, or Gabby.
Yeah. But we shall see, because we have no idea. We'll see next week, and we'll be back next week to talk all about it. Maybe not Logan, but we'll be here.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to have me again. If next week is as frustrating as this week, I will just bow out. And at this point, I will say Gabby and Carolyn for the win. I don't know. That's who I want to win at this point. Chriselle could also win, so that way she can get some dresses with some knee skirts for her lovely wife, G Flip.
But we will be back next week to talk all things Traitors. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button on your way out. Subscribe to all of our other channels. All those links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links, our Patreon links, our merch links, our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow Logan and I on Blue Sky, TikTok, or I don't know, whatever. And then my Instagram is right there, over there, whatever. And yeah, do all the things. Do all the things to say you support us, and we appreciate you. We're going to go. So cheers, y'all.
Bye.